Welcome to this tutorial on how to create a bibliography or a citation using Microsoft Word. So we're using Word just to make life easier. So what we're doing is going into the References tab, and for those of you that are using MacBooks, you might not find managed sources. Those of you that do, we'll look into this as well. So for those of you that are using insert citation, what you need to do is add new source. So if you didn't have managed sources, you just need to click on add new source. For those of you that do have managed sources, please click on managed sources. A pop-up screen will appear for those of you who are doing managed sources. So what I want you to do is select new. If you didn't use managed sources and you used insert citation, this screen's going to pop up for you. You'll see that there's a drop down where it says type of source. So what you're going to do is select the type of source you're using, and most likely it'll be a book or a website. Occasionally you might be using a journal article, but right now we're going to look at book. You then click OK, and you go to your book. So let's say this is a sample cover page to the book that we were researching with. You're looking for the title, the author, and the publisher. You can find that on your cover page, but you actually need to find some more information when it comes to creating your reference. If you flip over the page, you'll find a page that's got a lot of information on it, and that's called the Verso page. So the Verso page will include the location of where it was published, and it should include the date as well. So as you can see, this was published in New York by Cambridge University Press in 2015. Okay, now it's your turn to have a go. So remembering to follow the instructions that were given to you previously, and we're going to have a go at referencing the next slide. So there's an example of a book there, have a look. So this is our sample book that we're using. As you can see, the title is stated there. You've got your author, your publisher, your city, and then on the Verso page is where we found the date, the publisher again, and the city again. So I want you to give that a go and make sure you type in all of those areas in the boxes that appear in your reference tool. Okay, let's have a look at what the citation should look like. So as you can see, we chose book as our source. The author's there. We've got all of the details that we found in the previous example. And if yours doesn't look like that, you need to sort of go back and review and have a look at where it was that you made your mistakes. If you used insert citation, you'll now see that in your Word document, in brackets, you'll have Seed House, 2000. That's okay. That's just what a citation looks like. So you can remove it from there if you're not doing citations. We're going to look later in this presentation at how to create a citation within a document. Okay? Now, sometimes a book or a website doesn't have an author. So it may be produced by, let's say the school produced something and we didn't necessarily give it anyone's names. We then click on corporate author and we put in the organisation or company's name. So you write it exactly as it would appear. If you didn't and you put it in author, the way it appears later is very jumbled up. So it might have College ES instead of Epping Secondary College. So make sure you put any of those sort of words in corporate author. All right, some tips. So take some time to read this. You really need to, there'll be a lot of going back and forth. So if you decide to do all of your bibliography right at the end of your assignment, say you've listed all of your websites, you expect to be going back and forth. Now, there's a way that you can do that So if you're on a Windows laptop or device, you're basically using the window key and the arrow as appears there, and you can split your screens. So you're not having to click out of one and into one. You can sort of go side by side. And for Mac users, there's some information there as well for you to follow. Before we move on, I just wanted to talk to you a bit about bookmarking. So, to make life a bit easier when you're collating all of your websites, you could always bookmark them. So, on Google Chrome, as you can see, there's a star. Mine appears blue because I've already bookmarked this website. So, if you click on the star, it'll bring up a little menu, and you can either save it to your bookmarks bar, or you could go and drop that down and you could actually save it to a different folder. So you might have a topic that you're doing right now, and you can create that topic in a folder and bookmark all of those sites in there so they're easy to find later. Okay, bit of an extra step, but a helpful one for when you have to get to the point of putting a whole lot of websites together into your bookmark. Okay, we're going to give it a go now with websites. So basically you're going through the same steps, but this time for type of source, you're clicking on website. Remember, we're not using Google as the site. We're only using Google to search for information. So we're not using Google as our website when it comes to listing it on our bibliography. So this website's an example. Here on the right is information that I found at the bottom of the page. So make sure you scroll the whole page. So I found the date. I only found the year. That's fine if I can't find the month and day, because that's all they're giving me. I looked for an author and I couldn't see any listed here. So I'm choosing Oregon State University as my author, and that would be a corporate author. So what's the name of the website here? The website is Volcano World. I know that because all of these other things are listed under it, so they're subheadings. And the web page is How are volcanoes and earthquakes related? So I've got my information, and now I'm going to attempt to put it in to my bibliography. So if you tried it, did yours end up looking like this? Remembering we chose corporate author, and we've listed everything else there. Having month and day not appearing there is absolutely fine. So if that's what it looked like, you need to click on OK. And remembering you need to copy the URL exactly as you searched it. Now, before completing your bibliography, making it appear in your Word document, there are a few things that we need to go through. If you've already created bibliographical entries in the past, you might find that they're all listed here. Okay, so I've got some stuff that's already been listed. That will stay there. I can close off my Word document, and that doesn't matter. I could forget to save it. It doesn't matter. It will always stay in my master list. All right, so that's where everything will appear. But once you're ready to create your final bibliography, you need to make them appear in your current list. So the way to do that is to highlight the one that you want, click on copy, and it will come across to your current list. And you keep doing that and go through the list that you've created, and you keep doing that. If you are making this live, they'll appear in your current list already. So if you're doing it all in the same time, and that's fine. So once you're ready to do that, you just hit close. Remembering, I'll go back. So if you had entered something in your master list and you think, oh no, that was wrong, or even your current list, just highlight that one and hit edit, and you'll be able to fix that up. So you might have found that you typed something incorrectly. You can always edit that. So now once everything was in that current list, like I mentioned before, all you need to do is click on bibliography and then that first section there. And what's going to happen is in your Word document, you're going to have this appear. So everything will be in alphabetical order and in the order and methodology that is required by APA style. You don't need to understand every bit of that order right now. You just need to understand where you're going to gather that information to be able to put it into those cells in that referencing tool. Okay, so if you're needing any further help, you can go to the State Library and look at their how-to instructions, but you can also Zuno me, Mary Mosquito, with your questions, or come into the library and ask for help, and we're more than happy to help you. Now, if your teacher has asked you to create citations within your document, keep watching the video and you can look at how to do that. If not, thanks for watching. So if you've been asked to insert citations into paragraphs, it's quite easy, yeah, because you've already done the work. But the point is that you needed to have already referenced the items, whether it's a website, an article, or a book, into that bibliography already. So you need to have referenced them already, yeah? So what happens is, let's say I was doing the research on volcanoes and I wanted to type a sentence out, but I wanted to add some information directly from the website. I need to use quotation marks on what it is that I'm adding. So I might have copied and pasted a line, and that's fine as long as you're referencing it and you're giving reference to whoever wrote it. So after you've written your sentence out and you've put your quotation marks in, you just need to click on Insert Citation, as you can see in the image, and then choose from the list that will appear there the place that you got that information from. So if I'm working on volcanoes, I wrote something about it, I copied a section out of the website, I put it in quotation marks, I now click on Oregon State University, and this is how it's going to appear. So just making sure your cursor is placed directly after the quote so that it appears in the correct place. So this is what it would look like. I wrote my sentence out. I put what was written in quotation marks, and there it is. It's telling the reader that I got that information from Oregon State University. It was published in 2018. If they want more information, they can go to my bibliography and they can see exactly where I got that information from. If you have any further questions around citations or any other questions that you have around this, please, like I said before, you can see us in the library or you can Zuno me directly. Thanks for watching.